Hey, this is a tutorial on good old G67 12.2A1. We are doing compound probability. All right. I think the compound stuff starts right about down here. This is more review, I believe, of the old one. So what's the probability of getting an A and a 2? Now, you need to understand a couple of things here. The first thing is independent events. The next one is called dependent events. These here are going to be independent events. These are independent events because what happens on this spinner has no impact about what's going to happen on this spinner. Dependent events. Dependent events are if you had a deck of cards and you pulled out a card, and of course you got a 1 in 52 chance of pulling out a king, or sorry, you got a 1 in 52 chance of pulling out a king of hearts. But if you don't put that card back in, the next time you draw a card out, there's only 51 cards in there. So that's a dependent event. So dependent events depend upon one another. Independent events are completely standalone. So these are independent events. I just want to go over that first. So what's the probability of getting an A on this one and a 2 on this? Well, pretty simple. The probability of an A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 1 in 5 chance of getting an A. And you want a 2, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 1 in 6 chance of getting, oh, we got a 2 in 6 chance of getting a 2. So we have a 2 in 6 chance of getting a 2. Now, you could just multiply those guys together. Now, you could also, so you could just do this, you could just multiply them straight across. 1 times 2 is 2. 5 times 6 is 30. And then you can reduce that down to 1/15. The other thing you could have done is we could have reduced this to 1/3 right off the bat. And then we would have gotten there a little bit faster. So those are independent events, and it's a 1 in 15 chance of getting it. Okay, let's jump down here and take a look at another question. This one has got a little setup. So there are 3 red, 1 blue, 2 yellow marbles in a bag. Once a marble is selected, it is not replaced. So now these are going to be dependent events. Where up here, these are totally separate. These are dependent events. So let's count them up. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 marbles in a bag. All right, just going to put that down. 6 marbles in a bag. What's the probability of getting a red and then a yellow? All right, well, the probability of getting a red, there are 3 red out of the 6. So let's just say that that's 1/2 chance of getting that. You know what? Let's not. Let's leave it at 3/6. Just because I want you to see something that goes on here. There's a 3/6 chance of getting a red and then getting yellow. Well, when you go to pull the yellow out, because the marble is not replaced, now there's only 5 marbles in. And 2 of them are yellow. So we've got this situation here. Now we can reduce this down to 1/2. Now we can reduce that. But I wanted you to see that it went from 6 to 5. So really we have, let's just go over here. We have 1/2 times 2/5. Now you can multiply that across, or you can divide by 2 here. You can do that as well. Cross reducing. And you end up with a 1 in 5 chance. So you have a 1/5 chance here. That's your probability. You get pulling out a red and then pulling out a yellow. I think probably a more interesting question here is number 17, pulling out 2 reds in a row. Well, let's think about that. So the first time there was 3 reds out of 6, right? Because there's a total of 3 red ones. So the next time there's only going to be 5 marbles, but you have to assume that the red one was pulled first. So that means there could only be 2 reds left. So let's reduce these fractions. Call this 1/2. And this one is 2/5. We're going to multiply these, divide by 2. Once again, we end up with a 1 in 5 chance of getting that. All right. Enjoy working through these. They're kind of fun to think about. I like probability.